Howdy again, folks. Rebecca Jolly here with a neutrino forecast for Saturday, the 30th of August, 2025. I'm going to talk fast because I have a lot to say, so stick with me, and you can always slow it down if you need to, but I'm going to try not to make it too long. All right, we're dealing with the second line of the cross of planning in the third quarter, so it has to do with interpersonal relationships, duality, and, bonding, mating, all that sort of stuff. So 40 line 2 is called Liberation to Shed Disrupting Qualities. It has an up arrow on it. The power in aloneness to recognize who is important and who has a disruptive effect on liberation. Okay, now a 37-2 is responsibility. That's, of course, what's on the other side of the wheel from that. Personal responsibility as a basis for friendship. Ross says this is the ashram line. So basically, this is the line of people who naturally fall into telling other people what to do or themselves being told what to do. And this, of course, goes together with those who are connected on the 3420 as well as the 4037, which there's a whole group of people who are. They have this 3420, which makes them manifesting generators, as well as having this 4037 definition in the second line. So altogether, that makes a personality of someone who is needing to be guided and needing to be told what to do. And then they can work within that. That doesn't mean that they have to be drones or anything, but it's definitely this guidance kind of energy. And I have a mentee who has been working with me and my friend for several years now. And before I met her, before I had discovered Human Design, when I was still doing Chinese astrology, and Chinese astrology I still find to be very relevant, also based on the I Ching, so related to Human Design. But I always wondered how it was she recognized me, how it was we were just at a party, I was just there, I was doing the thing that I always do, which is like trying to figure out people's numbers, trying to find out who they are, trying to understand people by looking at them. And I said, I'll give you a free Chinese astrology reading, and nobody took me up on it but her. And she came as she was, just visiting in America for a few days. She was like, I'll be there, I'm coming to your house. And I was like, oh, okay, come on over then. And gave her a Chinese astrology reading, and she came to me, said she wanted to know me more, wanted to have a relationship. Again, I was surprised because I've mentored many people, but it's always been much more of a situation of they were in my sphere, they were related to my children, or they were almost my children, or something like that. But it wasn't. This was the first person who was really outside my circle, grabbing a hold of me fiercely and wanting my input. And I have to say, I think developing really well in her life as a result of having this guidance in her life. Anyway, she's a wonderful human. 14.3 is where we catch the moon this morning. Serving, to serve and selflessly contribute to society. I have a daughter with a 14 to the whole channel. Activation is this center between the G center and the sacral center, this central channel. So it's an individual channel, but it's about deciding where the resources go. So this third line of it is selflessly contributing to society, serving others, deciding where those money bags that are in the 14th gate really deserve to be sent to. When the moon is done with 14, it will move into 34. That's the gate of strength and power. I don't know a whole lot about this myself because I have it veiled. It's in both of my Neptunes here. But that is what it's supposed to be about. And 9, which is paying attention to small details here in this channel of logical learning, focusing on something until you can really dig down and see the details in it. So today will be a day for connecting with animals. Maybe you'll have some sort of an interaction because this it's called the small taming power, the 9th gate. And understanding animals is really all about understanding the details of what they do, their emotions, their actions. So that's where we get that. Anyway, for 5, which we will be moving, or did move, I guess we did. Yeah, well, in the night, in the morning. 4, 5, seduction, harnessing formulas through seduction. So this is not sexual seduction. This is intellectual seduction. And into 4, 6, which has an up arrow, that is patience, the potential to recognize when logical understanding is not yet complete and have the patience to wait out the process. So there will be an aspect of just needing and hopefully having patience with our learning processes today. After the 4, it will move into 29-1, and I figured I better cover that because that will be skipped over by the time we get to tomorrow. So 29 is commitment. We just went through this, talking all about commitment on our mission. 29-1 is fulfillment, the power to persevere as long as necessary. Sticking with it. Commitment, commitment, commitment. All right, so that is our Mercury. Then Venus moves to 31-4 from yesterday's line 3, and that is motivation, leadership quality through motivation. 31 is, of course, talking about leadership because that is the gate of the alpha there. And it will also move through line 5, attitude, leadership in accordance with inner attitude. All right, then our Mars energy moves, starts in 48-6, but we already talked about that yesterday. That is fulfillment, the inexhaustible source that gives and receives simultaneously. Speaking of which, I did look that up, and Rod does not have the 6th line activation. He has line 3 and 4, so maybe he was getting ahead of himself, but he felt like his depth was inexhaustible, so I don't know. If you have this, maybe you feel that as well. But we'll all be feeling a shadow of something of it today because we're all moving through that energy today. And when we're done with 48-6, we will move into the gate of intuition, also coming out of the spleen right next to it, except this is an individual gate. And intuition line 1 is to intuitively grasp the inner meaning. So me, myself, I have 3 activations of this intuition gate, which should be meaning something for me. I'm exploring that. But that means today we will all have access to a level of deep intuition now. Something I can tell you about intuition is that it's really going on in the right ear. And it's also about something that it's like more how it's said than what it's said. So listen to people very carefully, listen to how they say things. And if you really are, trying to squeeze the most meaning out of it, turn your head, listen with your right ear. All right, so our global energies are staying stable today, so we don't have to go into that. I did promise you, though, however, to read the names of people who have this 3rd version of the cross of planning in their charts, so you can get an idea of something like what that might be like for these famous people. They are Warren Buffett, Edgar Rice Burroughs. I always think, when I think of him, of that movie Mars, Virginia. Oh, that was such a good movie, such a female-powered movie, but the critics didn't like it. Anyway, I'll see if I can remember that name. Cameron Diaz, Gloria Estefan, John McCain, Maria Montessori. There's a real community-minded person, huh? Mary Shelley. Mary Shelley's the last person on the list. So, I forgot a song today. Sorry. You probably don't give a shit anyway. You're probably not even looking at it. But if you are, and you do want, you let me know in those comments, and I'll come up with it for tomorrow. All right. So much said today. I squeezed it into 9 minutes, though. Hey. All right. So I do feel like there is something I'm not fully explaining here, but... it's about the 2nd line and the nature of the 2nd line. Okay, so the 2nd line is really an interesting one because we move from the 1st line of foundation, where it's really very narrowly focused and researching and deep diving into kind of naturally able to do things without understanding why inside of themselves. So these are the people who other people always see into them and see things in them that they do not see in themselves, and call them out to do things that they themselves are not aware that they can do. In the case of the ego, this makes them somewhat vulnerable to the ego power, because it makes it so that other people can come up to them and say, can you do me a favor? And their ego is engaged, like, oh, I could do this. Oh, I don't know if I should. I don't know if I want to. I really prefer to be alone as a second line being, but and so it puts them into this sort of a bind where they can get called to do too many things. But of course, that ego power is really only wanting to rest. And so it has to make this calculated judgment of, is it going to be worth it for me to come out of my hole and do the work that you're asking me to do? Am I going to get the feedback for that? Am I going to get the friendship, the support, the niceness? In this cross of planning, the 3740, we always have this dynamic of the community and the deal that's made. And that's, of course, why I'm wearing something that's very akin to a wedding veil, because it's about that deal. If I get shacked to you and hooked to what it is, whatever it is that you want out of me, am I going to be able to give it? Do I want to give it? Is it going to be worth it for me to give it? Are you going to be nice enough to me to make it worth my while to get up off my ass and go out alone into the wilderness and only be able to masturbate, not have sex, while I'm bringing in the resources to the community, and then just giving them all to you, like the mother bird that comes home and just blah, 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 blah to the babies? Well, how much food is she getting? It's that ego kind of an equation. Is it worth it? So these second line people, especially in this cross of planning, have a real challenge for themselves. But of course, the upside of that is that they sit in the heart of the community. They really are an important part of the community, telling other people what to do, being told what to do, figuring out these dynamics of relationships and community and the deal. And is this kind of a bargain going to be good for me? I don't know. All that back and forth kind of thing. So it's complicated. Everything's complicated, but this is the size of this kind of complication, and it's a good idea to give these people some, especially today, good job on you, especially since you're carrying energy in yourselves that is fading in the world. So when this energy is gone, the people who have these activations and carry these activations continuing on through the shift in their bodies are going to become more and more important, because these are the people who are going to be able to draw the community together and bring people together in this tribal resource way to build any sorts of things, or say repair roads that would move forward so that future societies who are no longer going to be interested in building roads can still have the gifts of the past and that cross of planning and what those hundreds of years established for us as a society. So that's enough today. Come back tomorrow for line 3 of the cross of planning in the 3rd quarter. Until then, take care. Bye.